what happens in these clubs in Europe, though, they'd always have a smoke machine.
Really?
And I would say, man, what is that fog out there? You know? Well, we want an atmosphere. I said, well, can we open the door and get that, let the atmosphere go outside and just give them some just plain air, you know?
Joining us today, we're very honored to be in the company of Mr. Ron Carter.
Thank you for the invitation. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Ron, what are you reading right now?
You know, someone gave me a Kindle for a Christmas present. And given my reading capacity and my love for books, I didn't open it up until 2 weeks ago. Anyway, so I've got 40 books I've read in the past 2 weeks.
Wow. Well, you've been doing a lot of traveling, so.
I have time at the airports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you prefer fiction or nonfiction?
Fiction. I don't really read anymore to be educated. I already did that. Right now, I like the fun of seeing how those writers make the words come off the page. I've been really enamored with that for a long time. And Michael Connelly and Steve Hamilton and Rich Greener, they have a way, George Pelecanos, they have a way with making the words just do something that other guys don't seem like they do for me. So I enjoyed that part of the book other than the content.
Were you always a reader even as a young man?
Yeah. I found that it's a nice way for me to imagine what kind of sounds fit certain words and certain situations. What chord makes this situation on the page go like this? You know, and the more I read, the more I read, the more possibilities I find in my head. I just haven't found anywhere to put them to use yet. But there'll come time for that.
Did you ever read a great passage and you go, wow, that resonates the chord, and then a song is born from?
No, I'm interested more like what background sound. My view is not that what I hear is not necessarily to take over the scene. It's to give the scene another kind of impression, another kind of weight, another kind of emotional responsibility, and sometimes one note can do that. So I'm kind of looking for that one note too.
I'm glad you said the one note, because that was the one thing I was going to ask you. Miles always said the one note. Now, you know, who came first? Did that line come before Miles, or did Miles, you know, get quoted with that line? You know, I had a jazz teacher years ago say it's one note. It's not what you play, it's that one note that you play.
It's a lot of things. One note is important. It's not the only thing that's important.
Right.
I think for me, what's more important than that one note is what notes are on this side of that one note, and what notes are on this side of that one note. That's always been my kind of view of this one note. Now I'm looking for this one note, but I'm looking for a way to set up this note. So when it shows up, everyone understands that it belongs there. And their job is to deal with it, because it resolves some kind of way over here. You know?
When you were first learning and really fine-tuning your chops, did you look at it more from an analytical or an emotional, or a combination? I guess because, you know, you started out as a cellist, which is very, you know, pragmatic and, you know, regimented in classical structure and form.
Well, regimented is kind of a general term.
Okay.
You know. Wonderful players have a way of breaking that mold. You know, they have their rules that they adhere to them by and large. The guys who make their instrument have its own voice are those who are able to step outside of this prescribed framework. You know? I think my view of when I play is that it's enough of each one of those aspects that I have a pretty complete picture when I get it right.
Were you ever intimidated in a session?
No.
That's great. That's great. Great answer.
No.
Because you've played on what, 2,500 different albums, give or take.
2,502, something like that.
And you've played every genre of music.
Yeah, I like doing that.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was beautiful. We came in, you had classical on in the background.
Yeah, you know, I saw a PBS thing on Glenn Gould.
Oh, yeah.
About 6 months ago, and not knowing that much of him other than listening to his music, it was quite an awareness that
Right.
he's a pretty far out guy,
Yeah.
man. I mean, which is okay. I didn't care, but the music is, and this is the Goldberg variations. It just, that's enough for me. You know, I don't care what else he did that no one likes. He had all these pills, and he was weird, and he wore his overcoat on earmuffs and stuff. That's, hey man, he used to play the piano good for me. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's interesting. It doesn't matter how old you are, you can still learn or grab something new
Absolutely,
from music.
and I think the more we hear music, the more it's presented to us, the more we have to go out of our way to hear something that we don't normally stumble across. It broadens our field of expression and gives us more chances to see that, wow, here's another way. Or this group sees music as having this problem for them, and their solution is over here. And this group sees music as having a completely different set of problems.
Right.
And their solution is to go maybe this way with it.
Right.
So when I hear these bands play, my point is that how do they solve these issues? Do they see the same ones that I see? You know, and that they don't see the ones, how do they come across this set of problems? What provoked them to see this issue as being important to them? I think when my band plays, if someone were to watch the band for a night, for a week, to see how the band evolves in the location for more than 20 minutes.
Right.
You know, the audience changes, the sound of the room changes, the piano changes. Every night is different. And I'd like them to spend a week there to see, one, if we see any problems, and two, how long does it take for us to identify the problems, and three, how smoothly and how quickly can we solve these issues.
But you're talking about a very sophisticated listener now.
Well,
I guess
yeah,
the jazz
why not?
audience probably is anyway.
Yeah, why can't I expect that?
No, of course. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
You know, we should appreciate that kind of knowledge that a musician is sharing.
And people, all they got to know is that's part of the process. You know?
It's funny, with guys my age, because I grew up with the rock and roll thing, and you say jazz, and people go, yeah, I dig jazz, but like you try to drag them into a club to see jazz. I don't know if it's intimidating for some people because you do have to invest that attention, which I like doing personally.
Yeah,
I mean, I love getting absorbed by the music, and like you said, that show can be so different even from the next set.
Yep.
And you can play the same set.
Yeah. Well, I think if you call those people true rock and rollers, if you understand that category, those people understand the music.
Right.
And if you can get them to know that there's a jazz band playing in their neighborhood or wherever they are in their time, they'll generally go check it out. I think the people who are of that mindset that it requires too much listening, too much concentration, then don't come.
Right.
Good. Get someone else that seat.
Save that seat for someone else.
Maybe me.
I love it. You work with Van Morrison. Van was a genre-defining kind of guy early on. Astral Weeks is hailed as, a great work of art, but it's really the players that brought life to his music in a different context.
Well, I think players do that with anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, a person can write a great symphony, but if the players are unable to interpret that sound that this composer is writing for it, it won't last very long because it's just on paper for people. They want to get smacked in the head with it.
Right.
What I call smash mouth time. They want that.
Right,
Otherwise, they can't understand what's going on. And either can I. I read the score, I say, yeah, what does that sound like? I want to hear the sound too, man.
Yeah.
I always amazes me that people, when they finally hear a jazz group, they say, wow, this is what jazz is? I say, well, for you, it's what it is? Great.
Young people too, like, my son is getting into jazz at 12, which
Good for
really
him,
pleases
man.
me. He's playing sax.
Okay.
He started out in trumpet, so I got him Clark Terry, I got him, Louis Armstrong, Miles.
My hope is that people like your son will continue in this, if nothing else, the listening interest of the music, because they're the audience for tomorrow, man. 12, 14, 16, they're the people who are going to be around 10 years from now. And they're going to determine how many clubs are surviving in the year 2021. Not my generation, but
Well, you're
we're
6
past that.
decades in with your music.
Yeah, so we can't be the crowd 10
Right.
years from now.
Right.
Your son's age group now, they're the crowds for 10 years from now, man.
You can see the joy in you young people when you play those shows, with the youth culture, and like you said, they've never seen jazz before. What's that like when you go into a place where maybe kids are listening to hip hop or they're listening to whatever genre of music, and their worldview just goes. Whoo. Because here's a form that's indigenous to America.
Yeah. Well, most of them don't have a vocabulary yet to really tell me what they feel,
Right.
you know, and I have to kind of guess that them being kind of semi-stunned in the silence during the performance, you know, and not expecting us to body surf, you know, all that stuff. I think that says a lot for their ability to grasp concepts that are more than 2 minutes in length, you know.
Right.
And it pleases me because, again, they're the people, man, who are going to make this music be responsible to other people as an audience 10 years from now, you know. And I always encourage them, come by and hear the band. You know? Come by and see what kind of music is available to you other than what you already know. And to those who are curious, they come by. You know, it's good to see them. If you look around at the club situation in the States, there aren't that many clubs available to do a tour year-round. There just aren't any more left, you know. And outside the 1 or 2, 3 main jazz festivals, Detroit, Newport, New York City, so on the Cape, New Jersey Cape, there aren't any real main jazz festivals in the States.
Right.
There haven't been for the past few years. That's kind of unconscionable to me.
Yeah, absolutely. What was the golden year of jazz for you? The 50s, early 60s?
Yesterday?
Yesterday. Good answer. Good
Yeah.
answer. I like
Yeah, I
that.
had a good band yesterday.
Yeah.
That's the golden for me. Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's all about playing.
Yeah.
It's all about playing and
Absolutely.
moving forward,
Yeah.
living in the moment.
Excuse me.
Do you, when you're approaching music with your group, how much leeway do you give your players?
As much as they need to make it sound good and better than last night. You know, my job is to kind of keep the table set for them
Right.
and bring to the bandstand the kind of commitment to playing better than last night and looking forward to playing better tomorrow night.
Right.
And hopefully they understand that level of performance intensity and they're able to respond to it rather than let it make them will to get intimidated. You know? I've been working with Russell Malone and Logan Miller for
yeah.
10 years or so on and off, and we've kind of got a nice understanding as to what it takes to make this music work. You know, and if they're intimidated, it's because the music is commanding their attention, not that I'm playing with them.
Right.
It's the music's fault, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you want to keep them on their toes.
Absolutely. The
Yeah.
music does.
Right,
I
the
help
music.
that process.
Good. When you go to write a new piece, what's the process like for you?
It depends on where I am. And I mean, I wrote a couple of pieces for the VSOP tour on the airplane going to Japan because I knew
Really?
they were short of the library.
Wow.
And I've done a couple of Joe Henderson dates, and he was always short of music, and he'd say, just in case, bring a tune. So I would bring a tune for Joe, you know. So it depends on the situation and how much time I have. If I'm not feeling anything, I don't make it try to happen.
Yeah, don't force
If I don't hear it, I let it go, man.
Do you have a favorite piece of music? Any genre, classical, or does it depend on the mood?
It depends on where I am physically. I mean, if I'm in my car, for example, and it's really close, and I like to hear gospel quartets and quintets because the sound is so focused in a small space like a car with great speakers. You really hear inside the voice.
Right.
You know, in my house here, that's got a lot more space and some really good speakers. I like to listen to classical or some jazz. And if I'm in an outdoor concert, I'm kind of enamored by how those rock stars put those shows on. That affects me. The lights, man, and the
Syncing all that.
Yeah, man, I can't imagine that kind of time dedication to do that.
Yeah.
And then the bands generally sound good. So all these venues offer me a different level of music to listen to actually try to understand why does that work like that. And could my band fit in that kind of physical environment and be as successful as musically as they are now? Would they be as successful visually with all this stuff happening around them?
Yeah, but jazz never needed that. You know, even if you played at Tanglewood, you know, there's a big venue, and
Well,
jazz can work there.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I'm saying that jazz needs that element to become more popular.
Right.
It's another way of taking advantage of the facilities that are available to present the band.
That's true. Yeah. I guess when Fusion was big, you know, and I'd go see Return to Forever or McLaughlin Mahavishnu Orchestra, you know, they were certainly playing to that rock ethos and light shows.
That's great for them because they work for them.
Yeah.
What happens in these clubs in Europe, though, they always have a smoke machine.
Really?
And I was saying, man, what is that fog out there? You know? Well, we want an atmosphere. I said, well, can we open the door and get that atmosphere, go outside and just give them some just plain air, you know?
They really did that.
Yeah, they seem to think that jazz sounds great if it's foggy inside.
Smoky. They want the smoky cafe
man,
vibe.
and they make you cough, man,
Yeah.
and it sticks in your clothes. And, ugh.
Had you not found jazz as a vocation, might you have been a lawyer, a doctor, something else? Did you have any other passions?
Neither of those. I could have probably been a horticulturalist. That's the guy with flowers and plants.
Yeah.
I like those. Or involved with racing cars.
Really?
That appeals to me too. Yeah.
Formula One or
Open wheel.
open wheel?
Yeah. But you know, as you get older, you wish you could have done things in addition to what you're doing now, and those things still kind of.
Everyone's got the bucket list,
still,
right?
They're still right here, you know.
Yeah.
Actually, or maybe they're right here now. I can't tell sometimes. But I like where I am right now.
Good. Is there anyone you wish you would have worked with, given the opportunity? Maybe the timing wasn't there. You know, I mean,
Well,
certainly you're early.
I used to have a list of people years ago that I wanted to work with. You know,
Really?
that I hadn't played with yet. That I thought it was important for me to go to school with them.
Yeah.
You know, and the last ultimately had 3 names left on my list. One of them was Oscar Peterson.
Wow.
One of them was Elvis Fitzgerald,
Yeah.
and one was Ahmad Jamal.
Really?
Well, Oscar called me about 5 years ago to get me off his list, and I appreciated that. And Ella passed away. I never even met Ella.
Are you
It was a
serious?
drag, yeah.
And all of those crisscrossing.
Never met her, man.
That's extraordinary.
So I hear she's a phenomenal enthusiast about the music, man. You know? So she got out of there before I got a chance to play with David, say hello to her. And Ahmed's still here, so I keep seeing him and say, okay, now tell your bass player to go home and watch the CNN on the loop, and I'll be here till he gets back. You know? She's on my list. I'm getting him off pretty soon.
Do you ever hear music in the sounds of New York? You know how guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the horns, and you hear a rhythm. They say they talk
Generally,
about the rhythm.
generally
of the
the
city.
rhythms that catch my eye are the different blinker speeds from cars that they have next to each other. They go like this. Windshield wiper blades go like this, not in consort with anything else. They got their own rhythm going, so they catch my attention. Yeah. But I can't go out and write a symphony on what I hear in the street. Man. I need some quiet,
Quiet time.
quiet.
Can you do it in the city, or do you need to be upstate or
I can
somewhere?
write. I can.
Well, you said you did you were writing for VSOP on the airplane.
Yeah, I
so,
can do
mean,
right in my house. Yeah, I don't need that kind of isolation.
Do you like using computers when you're writing now?
I'm learning how to use them.
Yeah.
My skill is really not good enough to say I have any kind of fluidity at all, but
Right.
I think I understand that it makes it easier for you to notate what you hear if you have the skill level to do that. I'm
Right.
not there at all yet, so
Right.
I can't tell.
Or that they even transcribe what you play on your instrument?
I don't worry about that. That's my else's job. I'm trying to play the notes.
Do you like composing on piano?
I do, but my skills aren't high enough to be damaging.
That's great. Ever break a bass string on your upright in concert?
No.
Because I saw, what was his name? I was watching Pat Metheny's group, and who's the bass player that played with Wynton? He broke, I've never seen a guy break a bass string. And he literally had to, I think, run out to Sam Ash to get a new one because he was so unprepared for the moment.
Yeah, I tell my students always carry a 7-set strings.
Yeah.
You know, people, you know, it's just a happenstance, man, make that happen. But I take that back. I was working with a young man at a company who was working on a prototype kind of string for
Right.
bass. You know. And so I tried one out for him on a gig, and it was really not a well-made physical string.
Right.
It had a good sound, but it wasn't physically built to withstand the rigors of playing all night. So after the first 2 tunes, it snapped at the top of the bass, you know, and so I just finished playing the set with 3 strings and Mission put the 4th string on and finished the gig. You know.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. So how many hours a day are you practicing?
2 hours a week if I'm lucky. I just haven't had time. I was on the road for about almost the last month.
Wow. But when you're like in an ideal
traveling
situation.
around, man, and on the road, I never have a bass till I get to the concert hall, so I can't practice in my room or practice facilities. So on the road, I can practice at all.
When was the last time you played the cello?
3 years ago.
On a album or
No,
just
no, just in my house.
in your
Just Make
house?
sure it still worked.
Yeah,
Yeah, it did.
yeah.
It worked.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I worked as well as it did. I just, I'm enamored with the depth of the sound of a great bass, played by a wonderful bass player.
And on that note, I think we'll end our interview. That's a wonderful statement, Ron.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time, sir.
Thanks for the invitation, my friend.
And I look forward to seeing your outfit soon.
My outfit or my outfit?
Your band.
Okay.
Your band.
Yeah.
And roncarter.com.
Thank you.
There's a lot of information on that website, by the way.
.net. RonCarter.net.
RonCarter.net. There is a lot. There is a lot to be found. 2,502.
Yeah, I think so.
Thanks. We'll see you soon.